Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to create a video with some instructions on how to help with this project. We're looking at some people who lived in Iowa in the 1915 Iowa census, and we're trying to find their lifespan. Iowa is unique. It's the only state census before 1940 that had income in it. And so we're using this data to see if richer people lived longer. That's kind of the academic purpose of this, but anytime we can put death dates on the tree is good. And so this is kind of a twofer. So here's the sheet. So if you just hit Control down, you can kind of grab the next open spot and just put your name in for a few. Okay, and you just click on the link and it's going to take you to the profile page of the person you're going to be helping. And just keep in mind, you can do anything you want to help this person. Like, you know how we can see here that there's a census that we could attach. Um, Always feel free to do that. But the most important thing we're going to do is try to find the death date for this individual. So you can see here, Wheeler matches up, name matches up. So we will attach that record. Okay, so what I'm going to do is right here. Okay, so here, oh, okay, so here's the person I'm going to try to help, Martha L. Hinch. And, you know, sometimes here in Family Search, you'll have a record that has some death information. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight over to Ancestry. And you can see that, you know, we have Martha showing up in a marriage record. So we could add that information in. There's these others here is a possible Find a Grave record, but, you know, has kind of like soul. You can see there. So this might be her. The thing I really like to use are these family trees. So you can see here is a person that has the same father, mother, and husband. So I'm going to click there and has 16 sources attached. And if we come up here, notice we already have the birth information, and here we have some death information. You might ask, well, where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from that Find a Grave that we saw earlier. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to add this information over here to Family Search. Okay. And you can call it good right there, but at this point, you know, some other things you might do is just see if you can find that Find a Grave record so that we can attach it. And what I find sometimes with Family Search, I need to basically just kind of like trick it into finding the thing by putting in the name exactly as it shows up in the source. Okay. And there, oh, well, actually, we picked up a different record, so this will work too. Um, so we'll just attach this to the tree. So now we have a kind of a source that validates that information that we got from a public member tree. Um, okay, so now we're basically done with Martha. So then we would just come here back to our sheet. So let me pull up our sheet, and I would just put a 1 right there. Okay. And you know, you can see Joshua Kent's putting a 1 if he finds it, 0 if he doesn't. You can do that, or you can just put a 1 if you try it. We'll be able to go back and look and see if you found the death information. Okay, so here's another one. So again, you can see we have some census hints showing up over here. If you hit show all, you can see all the records, and we can look to see if any of them have the death information. I don't see any that had the death information on Family Search, but we can hit Ancestry. And again, over here in Ancestry, we can see that Schwen is her married name. Okay, here's some records for her. We can hit Family Tree. Okay, so actually in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go just look for her husband really fast. Because in a lot of these family trees, you'll have your birth name. Let's just pull her husband over here. Okay, here he is in the 1910 census, which matches there. So we could look for them there. Okay, let's see. We have John F. Schwan. One we want is born in Iowa. So I'm not seeing any family tree direct matches. So the one last thing I'll do is I'm just going to go to a record that I know is him. So here's a record for him. Here's a Find a Grave for him. And there's his spouse, Pauline. So let's just go take a look now. We'll go to the Find a Grave website. So you can see here he's living in Dubuque, which is where he lived. You can see that here he has children that line up their names, Morrill Martin, that's interesting. We have Maura Martin, and we got Geraldine, Genevieve, Carl. So actually, you know, I won't do this on the video, but since I found all these cool family members, I'm probably actually just going to put this information over for the whole family. And the cool thing here is I could add in his parents. So this one I might spend a bit of time with, but honestly, like if in 1 minute I can dramatically improve a profile in the family tree, it's totally worth it. And if in 1 minute I can add a new person to the tree, totally worth it. So this is one where I'm going to spend a little bit more time, but I'll do that kind of off video. But here we can at least accomplish the main goal that we came here to do. which was to find when she was born, or sorry, when she died. And so we'll put in that information, and then we're going to put in her death year right there. And then I'm going to just change her birth year really quick, and then I'll standardize out that. Okay, and then just because we put that stuff in, we might actually now get a death record hint that we can attach right there. Perfect. Attach that. Um, oh, and that's great because now notice here we just actually found a duplicate, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm on the K28 one, so I'm gonna copy the other one. I'm gonna attach this record to the person that I was working on, and then we are going to, and I'm glad this actually happened on our little training video because this is one of the most important reasons why we put in death information is because it makes it much easier to tell that you have found a duplicate. So you can see there they have the same information. She was living in Dubuque in 1920, Dubuque in 1910. Here she is. So it looks like we're probably going to need to merge her spouse too. Yeah, you can see over here that it's Lehman, not Schwen. Let's see. Yeah, John Schwen. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, so it looks like in the census we had Schwen, which is why it didn't pick these up. So I'm going to go and do all these merges, add in the death dates. This will be awesome because now this family that was there in the 1910 census is now going to be connected in. And so you might think, oh, that's weird that we have to merge all these duplicates, but it won't take me that long to merge the duplicates. And now every single person over here is going to be connected to the 1910 census and have access to all that rich information from the census. Okay, so I'm going to do a switch. And so obviously when the video is done, I'll be doing a little bit more work on this family, which will be fun. Um, and so, boom. Okay. And then we would come back in here and I'd put a one. And since I'm going to work on this family bit, I'm just going to delete my name off these other ones. That's how we do it. You just check out some, but just remember that the primary task is to find the death information for the person, but but you can do anything you want to help this family out. As you're doing research to find the death date, you might find the parents' names or maiden names or children. Feel free to use your time to add all that information to the family tree because our primary goal here is to grow the family tree and we're really grateful to have your help on this project.